So hey guys, today's video is going to be a little different because I recently hit 10,000 subscribers! Yay! And this would not have been possible without you guys' support over the last several months, so thank you so very much. And as promised, I'm doing a 10K Q&A video. If you're new to my channel and you want to learn more about cake decorating, be sure to subscribe for more tips and tutorials, and I'm going to jump into the questions right now. So the first question comes from Gracie, and Gracie asks, from what age did you start to really show interest in baking? So I really got into baking and cake decorating about 10 years ago. When I was a kid, I had completely different interests. So I also received a very similar question on Instagram. So BKH Brown 0920 asked, how did you get started? How did you first learn to decorate cakes? So what really got me interested in cake decorating is that I wanted to learn how to make birthday cakes for my sons. So a coworker of mine recommended that I go over to a specialty cake supply store that's in our city. And while I was there, I learned that they taught classes. So I started taking cake decorating classes with my mom, and it's just been ongoing since then. So all of the cake decorating skills that I know have come from me taking classes, watching videos on YouTube, and of course practicing. So the next question comes from Tanya, and Tanya asks, have you worked in any bakery professionally? And the answer to that question is no. I have never worked in an actual bakery professionally. As you may know, I am a home-based cake artist, and from time to time I do think about owning a brick and mortar bakery, but I really try to stay in the moment, and my thought process is I will cross that bridge when I get to it. So our next question comes from Nyasha, and Nyasha asks, can I put glitter that says non-toxic glitter on a cake? So this is what Nyasha is referring to. Sometimes you will see cake decorating supplies and they are actually labeled non-toxic, like this metallic luster dust that I have here. There are also products like this one that are actually labeled as edible. Take crayons, for example. They are also labeled as non-toxic. This means that if you do ingest it, you won't necessarily get sick. It won't necessarily cause you any issues, but it's not recommended that you eat or ingest non-toxic materials. So the best rule of thumb is always, if you can, try to use cake decorating supplies that are edible. If you are in a pinch and non-toxic is all that you have, best rule of thumb is to only use those decorations on items that are not meant to be eaten. So for example, if you have a cake topper and you need to paint something gold or put a little bit of dust on one little area, that's totally fine. Most importantly, always be upfront with your cake client and let them know, hey, the topper is not meant to be eaten, or you need to remove this part of the cake before cutting and serving to people. Just be upfront and you will be good. So the next question comes from Happiness, and Happiness asks, how is sponge cake made? Can it be decorated with fondant? So sponge cake is made with the same materials as regular cake. So you have your flour, your sugar, eggs, flavoring, all that stuff. The thing to note with sponge cake specifically is after it bakes, it's really dry. So it's very important that you use a simple syrup to moisturize your cake. And yes, you can definitely decorate a sponge cake with fondant. Again, the most important thing to keep in mind here is to always cover your cake in buttercream before covering it fondant. That is super important, but great question. The next question comes from Alvin, and Alvin asks, what are the ingredients that can be used to make icing roses? So if you want to make beautiful icing roses like these, I would recommend using an American style buttercream, and that consists of powdered sugar, butter, flavoring, and water. I actually show you how to make my American style buttercream in this video, and it's linked in the description below. The only difference here is that you would want to include more powdered sugar, and that is so that the buttercream can be thicker or what's referred to as a stiff consistency. Because roses have petals that are meant to stand up, you really want to make sure that your buttercream is nice and thick. So give that buttercream a try and you should be good to go. The next question comes from Fairy Bites, and Fairy Bites asks, in regards to cake frosting, whipping cream available in my area is not the best quality. How can I improve it? So whipped cream icing in general is very, very loose. And so in my mind, it's only really good for icing a cake. The key is that the whipped cream icing must be stabilized for you to actually place it into a decorating bag and pipe out decorating techniques. And I actually had to do this for a cake recently, and this is what it turned out to be. And before I did that, I did a little bit of research online to try to figure out how to stabilize my whipped cream icing. I found a blog post by the Geek show, and they really gave in detail a lot of different ingredients that you can add to your whipped cream icing to make it more stable. So I ended up using cream of tartar to stabilize my whipped cream, and it came out fantastic. So I will go ahead in the description box and link that blog post. So if you have a question about how to improve your whipped cream icing, definitely check out that post and it will give you some ideas on how to do so. The next question comes from Tia, and she asked this question on Instagram. She asks, why does the centers of my cakes never bake? So Tia is a friend of mine, and I was able to talk with her to get a better understanding of what her issue would be. And she mentioned that she used what's called the tinfoil method, where she actually has to place a sheet of aluminum foil over the top of her cake pan to actually get her cake to bake nice and even. So if you are experiencing the same issue, the only solution is to bake your cake longer. The process of baking actually starts from the outer edge of the pan, and as the cake bakes and expands, it actually pushes toward the center and pushes the contents up. And so that's where you get that cake dome that we remove through the process of leveling. So in essence, the center of your cake is actually the last part of your cake to bake. The other thing that I would recommend is you definitely want to check your oven temperature to make sure that if you set your oven to 325 degrees, that it is actually 325 degrees. And you can do that by purchasing an oven thermometer and placing it into your oven to make sure that it is accurate. So the next question comes again from Gracie, and she asks, how much time would it take for me to master cakes? So this is different for everyone. So I've been decorating cakes for about 10 years, and even I feel like I have not mastered every single thing in cake decorating. It's important to know and realize that there are different aspects of cake decorating. So what is it that you want to master? Do you want to master buttercream? Do you want to get better at fondant? Do you want to really become a sugar artist and work with isomalt? There are so many different parts and pieces to it. The most important things to remember, make sure that you are trying new things. Always try to challenge yourself. Practice is super, super important. So the more you practice, the better you will get at decorating cakes. And finally, the most important thing is to never give up. It is going to take some time. Practice is definitely going to make improvement, and as long as you stick with it, you will get better and master cake decorating. So the next question comes from Julia on Instagram, and Julia asks, I feel like we just tried to get you to 1,000 subscribers. How did you grow so fast? I know, right? This is crazy. For real. I cannot believe it myself. Honestly, my goal was to only get to 1,000 subscribers just this year. I would have been fine, with 999 subscribers. But the fact that I have 10,000 subscribers at this point completely blows my mind. And again, that is because of your support and you guys is interacting, liking, commenting on the videos that I've been making. It's really made all the difference for my channel. So I do want to share a couple of things. One of which is that I actually have 2 videos on my channel that have completely went viral, completely have blown up. And those are my 2 mistake videos. Mistakes you want to avoid before decorating your cake, and mistakes you want to avoid when you are using fondant. So the other thing I wanted to share is that I follow and listen to and watch and subscribe to the channel of Nick Nimmin, and he is someone who is on YouTube and making videos for YouTube creators and helping them to really get their videos out there and to just make better videos. And so I am going to actually link in my description a link to his channel, so that if you are a creator and you're wanting to improve your channel, grow your channel, you can check out his videos. He is immensely helpful to what I've tried to do this year with my channel. So 10,000 subscribers, I still cannot believe this. And again, this is because of you guys' support. I really appreciate it. Thank you so much. If you enjoyed this video, please be sure to like, comment below and let me know if you enjoyed kind of this format of question answer video. Maybe I can throw some of those in the rotation. Of course, subscribe if you haven't already and you found this video helpful, of course. And I have tons of other videos on my channel. And as always, thanks for watching.